Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you are new here. I am Martina Lily and today we are going to do my end of year palette ranking. So this is ranking every single eyeshadow palette that I have tried in the year 2023 and there's a lot. So we're going to get straight into it. If that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and do the YouTubey things like subscribe, hit that notification bell and let's get started. If I've got my counting correct, I believe I tried 70 and I feel like I'm probably even missing some and forgetting some. 70 eyeshadow palettes. Yep, I know. So as we go along, I'm going to start at 70, go all the way up to number 1. I'll have them ranked. I'm obviously going to have them ranked. I will have them linked. So when you look at the description box down below, it's actually going to say like shop all of the palettes here and it will have a link and that's going to take you to my shop my shelf page with all the palettes. And that is because I won't be able to put 70 eyeshadow palettes in the description box. It won't let me. It won't like that character limit. If I'm looking a little disheveled, it's because I've been sitting here for like hours trying to do this dang ranking. This was so hard for me because I really love nearly every single eyeshadow palette that I tried this year in one way, shape or form. So yeah, this was really difficult. I will say, just keep in mind, so much my own opinion. Like truly so much my own opinion. Cannot stress this enough. Like I will tell you the eyeshadow palettes that I don't believe are good quality or like in my mind and my makeup preferences are great quality, because keep in mind again, my preferences and what my version of like poorer quality is might actually be something that you really enjoy. So just keep that in mind, take that with a grain of salt. So I'll let you know if it's like a quality thing for me, but otherwise it's purely like a color preference, formula preference, I guess. Just a personal, it's just my personal preference of where I would rank these color stories, because so many of these are absolutely phenomenal. So take it with a grain of salt. It's just meant to be a little bit of fun and take you through all of the palettes that I've tried this year as like an end of year recap. I am not going to go too in depth and like I'm not going to swatch or anything, any of the palettes as I go along. If I have a full arm of swatches like screenshot, I will have that inserted after each like palette that I rank just so you can see the swatches. But if I don't have it, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't have the time to sit here and do all the ones that I maybe don't have. So I apologize in advance for that. But if I have it, I will provide it. The bottom 10 were actually the easiest for me to kind of rank and pull together because I really don't love these palettes for one reason or another. Starting with number 70, if you caught this review, this is probably no surprise. This is the MAC Cosmetics Connect in Color Unfiltered Nudes palette. And I have a video where I'm like using MAC makeup for the first time. This is the first time I ever tried MAC eyeshadow. And let me tell you, it was not impressive at all. This is, I think, the worst eyeshadow palette I've ever used in my life. So I don't know if mine was a dud or what. Like this hard pan so much that I physically had to get something and scrape, like actually scrape a layer off, and that still didn't work. I just didn't get any pigments. The metallics were okay, but I wouldn't call them a metallic. I would call them a straight down the line satin. And this palette was like $100. Now I did get 30% off of that, but if I had paid that full amount, I would have been devastated because yeah, this palette just all around to me sucked. This palette really disappointed me. So number 69 is the Lawless Dreamy Dozen palette because I love this color story. I really do. I understand that this color story is like nothing exceptional to look at, truly. I really do. I know I probably own this 10 times over, but I really like the brand Lawless. I wanted to try their eyeshadow palette formula and I was like, if this is a good formula, I'll use this a lot, and especially like traveling and stuff. The mattes were so powdery that they just like, if you blended them, they just pretty much blend away to nothing. The amount of kick up and just like powder, it was just not for me. You couldn't blend them together. They would just like get like mixed up and like muddy looking on the eyes. And then these metallics are like so dense and just like thick and heavy on the eyes. It was just, especially for the price point, for me, just again, take it with a grain of salt, just my opinion. But yeah, this one was super disappointing as well. Like I would not recommend it. I picked this one up in PR, so I'll tell you the ones that I got in PR as we go along. This is the Glitterpedia Unleashia eyeshadow palette. I believe I got this from Stylevana, and this is actually really cute. The only reason why this is ranking so low is these shades here, they're kind of like a proper, sorry, these two here, they're like a proper chunky type glitter formula, like chunky glitter. And it's like a suspended chunky type glitter, but that's just not my style at all. I really don't like a chunky glitter in any way, but if you did, then this palette, and you like this kind of purpley, I don't know why, whenever I look at this palette, it kind of reminds me of like a unicorn. You probably really like it. The matte's blended really softly and lovely. Like, it's not an overly pigmented palette. It's designed, I think it's a Korean makeup brand, and so if you think of their makeup aesthetic, it very much performs in line with that. So performance wise, it's quite lovely, but I just don't like a chunky glitter. 67 is a Tom Ford quad. I know, none of my Tom Ford quads have ever ranked this low. This is the Cherry Smoke, and I picked it up. I love cherry. Anytime something says cherry in it, I'm like, get in me cart, you're coming home. And this is it. And it is a beautiful one to look at. It really is. I don't know what, when I picked this up, I did think it was the cream formula, which is my favorite formula from Tom Ford, but it's not. It's just his straight down the line normal formula, like a powder matte and like a metallic, and it's just nothing. Like, I paid probably $155 for this, Australian I should say, and it is just so lackluster. In saying that, it performs like a superstar compared to the Lawless and MAC palette, but just for the price point for 4 eyeshadows. And also this color story, I don't know why I was like, I picked this up. I don't even love a red eye. Why would I do that to myself? 66 is another palette that I got in PR. This is the Doll 10 Doll Squad 2.0 palette. And when you look at this, again, very beautiful, right? Absolutely stunning. Reminds you of the Tarte, one of the Tarte palettes, right? It's gorgeous. This is like a clean beauty brand if you are here for that. And I was fully anticipating to really like this, but the matte, very similar, not as powdery and muddy as the Lawless, but a little bit similar, where the mattes just didn't blend well together. I had to work way harder than I needed to or should have to kind of create a look with this. And the metallics are just fine. Like, just straight down the line, nothing exceptional, nothing terrible. But again, this is just, I haven't tried a color palette in a very long time, to be honest with you, but I would probably just recommend picking up one of those over that. 65 is a little Kaleidos quad. This is the Kaleidos Venus Trap. And this is from the Almaviva collection, which I did actually film a review of the whole collection, but by the time I got the collection, filmed it, and then had a chance to edit it, it had like been and gone and no one had cared, and I was just like, you know what? And I didn't actually super love the collection apart from the lip glazes, so I was just like, I'm just gonna let it go. So it's this quad right here, and don't get me wrong, this shade, beautiful. Like, I will just do a little fingerprint swatch. Look at that. Look. That's how it goes in the eye too. So this shade's stunning. But again, these mattes, like, I don't know what's going on with Kaleidos, and I hope next year they kind of tweak it a bit, because their matte formula is normally really, really good, especially in their bigger palettes. But I don't super love the matte formula in these quads. They're very powdery and pigment-like and muddy, and it is not for me. Like, again, I found all of these colors just mixed together to create this like muddy little color. Normally I would say, yeah, sure, maybe use the error, but I've been doing eyeshadow for a really long time now. I feel like I'm not too bad where I can at least get it so that my eyeshadow doesn't look muddy, okay? But the metallic is gorgeous, but yeah, just not for me. I believe we're up to number 64, and this is the Natasha Denona Mini Trio Chrome Palette. Honestly, the only reason why this one is ranking quite a bit lower, or like quite low, is just because this kind of color story, I don't actually, you know, if I had my time over, I actually wouldn't repurchase this. Like, I wouldn't buy it, because this shade right here is probably the only one that I would like reach for again. I'm never going to use these, let's be real. In fact, I might actually take this with me to my mum's house on Christmas Day and give this to her, because she'll probably only use this one shade right here, but at least she'll use it to the point where it's completely panned and gone. The quality is fine too. I wouldn't say this is like revolutionary quality for Natasha Denona, but it's not terrible in any way, shape or form. And if you like that color story, you'll absolutely love it. I really wanted this palette to be phenomenal, and this brand, and I don't know if it's just this palette or what, but I just didn't vibe with it. And this is palette number 63 is the Givenchy palette, and it's in LEN09, and it's this beautiful like romantic color story right here. I have a review on my channel and it is just absolutely beautiful. I really love the color story of this, but it was so nothing on the eyes, like nothing on the eyes, that it just did not, it was just so not memorable to me in any way, shape or form. It was so lackluster that I just honestly didn't want to use it again. Like I didn't even think to use it again. So yeah, this one was very disappointing, which is a shame because I really like a lot of Givenchy makeup, but this one was not for me. And I don't know if it's just this palette or if it's their formula. I probably will try another one again if I find a color story I really like again, but I'm treading carefully with their palettes from now on. 62 is here for pretty much its color story, but its formula to me personally is impeccable. I did get this in PR, and this is the Odin's Eye Cross Angie Nyquist Little Ghost palette. So this is her most recent collab, and honestly it's just so colorful of a palette that I'm never, like, I'll give this away after this ranking. It's just too colorful. I mean, is it beautiful? Absolutely. And like I said, the quality of this palette is top notch. I really truly, hand on heart, love the Odin's Eye formula, and the metallics and everything. Ooh, they're so special and stunning, but it's just not a color story I'm going to reach for a lot. And then number 61. This might make a couple of you upset, but I regret nothing in my ranking. Yeah, it is Pat McGrath Labs Mothership 11. What is this even called again? Sunlit Seduction. I know. Normally this would be number 1 in my collection, right? You guys, I've got a initial review of this, and then I've also got, like, I'm pretty certain I did a 3 looks 1 palette as well with this. Listen, it's fine. Like, the color story is quite pretty if you like look at it singularly. The reason for me that this ranks so low is that in comparison with her other Mothership formulas, this is nothing special and definitely not worth the $225 I think I paid for it. These special shades are not even special shades to me. Just remember my opinion. Like, if you love this palette and you think it's like one of Pat's best works, I'm so sorry. I'm not coming for you, I swear. But these just seem like metallics to me. Like, honestly, there's better metallics in this Odin's Eye Little Ghost palette, in my personal opinion, than these 4 right here. And that palette was like 55 Australian dollars. Granted, I got it in PR, but you know what I mean. The mattes are fine. You know, it's fine. It's just the color story I have 20 times over in my Pat McGrath Labs collection alone, which again, very subjective and personal to me. But the biggest thing for me is I could have got past the color story being so repetitive if these were special shades, but they were nothing special at all. And this one performed so terribly, and I've seen that quite consistently amongst all the reviews, and it's just a shame. And like, honestly, I honestly doubt I will really ever use this palette again unless I'm doing, like, you know, a look with each one of my palettes, Mothership palettes or something. But I don't even, like, this doesn't even stick in my mind when I think of my Motherships to go and use. It like stops at Moonlit Seduction. Yeah, so this was a massive disappointment to me. So I'm gonna be honest, like 60 up, and to be fair, even like, I'd say maybe throw in the Little Ghost palette, but just the color story is not really for me. 60 up though, I found very hard to rank. Like my top 10, actually, let's go, my top kind of 20 is like creme de la creme, chef's kiss. I love it. But like even the 40 to the 20 is like, the 60 to the 20, I really like all of these palettes. I regret nothing. I would repurchase them. Do you know what I mean? It's just, this is really just the personal preference now. Anyway, ranking number 60 is the Pat McGrath Labs. This is part of her Love collection, Sublime Seduction, purely because I don't love a warm tone like this. I just don't. These are not my tones. Great formula, great metallics, great mattes, one of Pat's best matte formulas. But yeah, I just don't personally love this color story that much. That's all it comes down to. 59 is the Odin's Eye Cross Flora yeah, Flora Story palette. Yes, I bought this with my own money. This was not PR. And this was a collab with Makeup Just for Fun. And I mean, don't get me wrong, very, very, very pretty palette. Very pretty palette, and I love the greens, but I actually haven't used this palette since that review. And anytime I've gone to use it, I pick it up and go, I should use this palette, and then I just kind of don't get that inspired by it. I really don't. So yeah, it's pretty. The formula is really lovely. It's just not inspiring to me for some reason. I don't know why. And you think it would be with being the greens. 58 is the Natasha Denona Mini Love palette. I should say these are all palettes that I've tried this year. They might not have specifically been released this year, but I tried them this year. So this is a Mini Love. I got this on special. I think I paid like 20 or less Australian dollars for it, and I really like it. It is very, very cute. It's just not a color story that I'm constantly going to reach for, but this shade is really beautiful, and like I do love it. It performs impeccably, and like the look that I did with it, I think I've got like a Instagram video or like a story as like using it. It really looked stunning, but yeah, just not a color story that I'm gonna gravitate towards over the others. 57 is another Pat McGrath Labs Love Collection palette, and this one is Iconic Infatuation. An absolutely beautiful color story, and I do actually gravitate towards these. I love a smoky purple like this. I love the mattes, but I have other tones like this from Pat that she's released in like Quince and stuff later in the year that I probably would think to reach for maybe more, or I like the formula just a touch more. But in saying that, this is still a really impeccable like small 6-pan palette, and I know that I've seen these on sale in random places, so if you see it on like a really good discount, I do still recommend picking it up. It's very pretty if you like the color story. I think I'm up to 56. I'm sorry if I'm verbally saying the ranking wrong. 56 is the Sigma New Mod palette, and I don't believe I have shown this on my channel yet, but I have used this a couple of times just like off camera for work and stuff, and I really like it. I think this, like the metallic shades in here are really, really pretty. So those are them there. I just think they're really pretty, and like this formula isn't, I wouldn't say it's like a groundbreaking formula, but it's a really like reliable, high quality formula. It's soft, it's easy to blend, the mattes are pretty, and just, yeah, I just really like the tones. It's just like a soft little romantic palette. I quite enjoy it. 55 is this little Victoria Beckham eyeshadow palette. It's the Silk color story. I did get sent this in PR, and I have a video with it. It's just absolutely adorable. The quality is amazing. It really is. The reason why it's ranking at like 55 is when I think of like just me leaning towards this color story, it's not going to happen as often as I would probably like. I just don't love these kinds of goldy tones. But in saying that, the formula of this is like absolutely amazing, and if this is like your kind of a color story and you're looking for just like a teeny tiny little eyeshadow palette, then I recommend. 54 is actually the new Charlotte Tilbury Holiday palette, the Beautyverse palette, and I do like this palette, don't get me wrong. I think like the packaging so cute, and the color story is very cute. The mattes really good quality. These metallics, like I will say the metallic formula in these, while pretty, workable, nothing to like complain about per se, don't match the quality of the mattes, because this matte formula is like creme de la creme, and then these are just a bit, they just seem okay compared to it. Overall, not a terrible palette. I quite enjoy it, but yeah, it's just, I think those metallics could have been a little bit better. 53 is the Natasha Denona Zendo, like midi Zendo palette. And I picked this up at the start of the year on like a huge sale, and I really, really like this. One of the biggest reasons why I like this is actually these two rows here. I love them, and they're like the cream to powder formula for the mattes here, and I love them. I love them. This is actually a really, really beautiful palette. Just the color story isn't like super duper cohesive to me, and like I just think to reach for other palettes over it, but in terms of quality and like do I regret picking it up? Absolutely not. 52 is one of the new Pat McGrath Labs Quince. This is Bordeaux Bliss, so the kind of reddy one. Very beautiful, honestly. It really is. The formulas are in here, in my mind, are absolutely stunning. Like, she has this kind of like satin matte formula here, gorgeous. Metallics are stunning. Again, it's just not a color story that I'm going to think to reach for all the time. I will reach for, like, I like this kind of a tone, but you know, this one and this one, not saying I'm going to reach for every single day, but I will say the formula of these quints is exceptional to me personally. And number 51 is this little Sigma quad in tiramisu, and I think this is absolutely adorable. It's just like this perfect little color story for me, like, and it is so light. So like if I just really want to travel with something that's like absolutely my color story, like this cool tony neutral color, pretty much gonna go, like, say I wanted to travel or whatever and I just needed to take something very small, I could pretty much take this because, you know, this is going to go with nearly all of my outfits. Great quality, absolutely really pretty, and like this little metallic is just absolutely stunning on the eyes. I definitely wouldn't sleep again on these little quads. Like, I think Sigma is really highly underrated for the quality of their products, especially for their price point. Number 50 is this little Kaja Bento eyeshadow box, and I've just realized that I do have another one somewhere that I've misplaced. So let's just put the Kaja Bento boxes together. This one is Orange Blossom, which is actually my favorite, and I used this in my trying my favorite YouTubers 2022 makeup favorites video at the start of the year. And I really love this. I actually really think the Kaja eyeshadows are amazing because like you can get these on like quite a good deal, especially on like Stylevana. You can, like, I think I picked this up like 15 Australian dollars. But like these shadows as like little toppers and like tapped over the lids are really, really pretty, and just add this like little dimension and sparkle. And yeah, I'm quite impressed. Okay, 49 is the Adept Cosmetics Minka palette, which I actually have a look this week coming up on my channel using this for New Year's Eve, because this is to me the perfect New Year's Eve palette. And I love looking at this palette. Looking at this palette makes me so happy. Truly, I probably will never declutter this palette just because looking at it and like, I want to say swatching it, but okay, the reason why this ranks so low, right? Because this color story is, oh, fire. This is like a proper glitter formula, but it's not like a chunky glitter. It's like a really, really fine glitter, but still a glitter, and it's like in a jelly consistency. So these are like cream shadows, like glitter cream shadows. And so it has that, like, you know, when you use glitter and it's everywhere for the rest of your life, that's kind of like what this palette is like. And so because of that, I don't love it. Like, I just don't love, like, I'm not even going to touch this palette for this video, because if I do, I will literally be covered in glitter from head to toe from it. And it doesn't have fallout or anything on the face. It's just like one of like to get off and everything. It's just glitter is everywhere. But the formula is truly amazing, and if you don't mind a glitter, like, you will love it. And I love to look at it, and I always think of this as like a holiday palette, and I like to keep it around, especially for this time of year. 48 is the Cosmic Brushes Muse palette, and I really love the color story and everything, and this was actually quite affordable. This was like 35 Australian dollars on its own, and then I think with shipping it was like 50. And I do like this palette, don't get me wrong, but in saying that, I wouldn't say the quality of this palette has like blown me away to the point where I continuously think to use it. And like, I really like a few of these shades in here. It's got some greens and a mustard in here, but I just constantly kind of forget I own it. But I do also think the quality is awesome. 47 is another Odin's palette. This is from their Christmas collection this year. I did get sent this in PR. This is the Hey Reindeer palette, and it ranks quite a bit lower just because it's a bit more of a colorful color story than like what I would use on the everyday. I do have a look using this palette on my channel, but I love like some individual metallics in this palette. I think it's really stunning, like this one and this one and this one and this one. So I really do like, there's individual shades in here that I absolutely love and adore and would use on like the everyday, but just overall as a cohesive color story, like, it's too colorful for me. 46, pretty much for the same reason. This is the second palette in the Angie Nyquist collab with Odin's Eye, the Trick or Treat palette. Also a really good holiday palette, just FYI. And it is, again, very pretty. It's a little bit more warm tone leaning, this palette though. So for me, I wouldn't think to reach for this all the time just because I'm more of a cool tone wearer, if you will. However, I love these greens. I love the mustard. I love these yellows and stuff here. So I actually really love this palette. I'm not going to declutter it or anything. I really enjoy having it in my collection. 45 and 44 are kind of the same ranking. So it's these little Viseart Petite Matte palettes. So I have the dark one and the neutral one. And these are just kind of the palettes I like to have in my collection as like staples. So these two right here, let's just call the 45 and the 44 even. I love both of these. The Viseart, I say it all the time, Viseart's completely underrated in my mind in the beauty community, or just like beauty in general. It's impeccable. It's the formula you know and love. It's great for anybody, professional makeup artists to absolute beginners. Stunning. I love the color stories, and they're just really good and handy to have. I actually travel with my Viseart palettes more often than not. Like usually I'll be like, oh, I've got other quads and stuff, but I always lean towards especially these like little petite ones from Viseart because they're the perfect size for like my makeup bag, and I can like put a heap of shades in there and mix and match them to create like this perfect palette for me for whatever I'm going away for. And the quality is just always exceptional. Like I used a Viseart palette on my wedding day, that kind of a thing. So I love them. Number 43 is a little Pat McGrath Labs quad. This is the Venusian Sunrise quad, and this is very pretty. Do not get me wrong, like the matte formula in here is gorgeous. This shadow right here is pretty much like her new formula of a special shade. It's honestly very beautiful. It's just not a color story that I would like reach for all the time, and I picked this up because I got it dirt cheap off her website. Like I got this, a bronzer, and the bronzer brush for like $50 or 60 Australian dollars or something, so that's why I grabbed it. But I don't regret it because it's a lovely quad and like I will use it. 42, I know, another Pat quad, and this is her Nocturnal Nirvana quad, and this is like the traditional baked special formula, and don't get me wrong, I love it. Like I love this quad, especially this shade. Oh, absolute fire. But I just don't, these two I don't love as much. They're still gorgeous, they're still stunning, they're still that baked special shade formula that you know and love, but I really bought it for these two shades and I love them. But like, you know, being realistic compared to all the other amazing palettes I tried, that's where it sits. And then number 40 is this What's Up Beauty Dragon's Eye palette, which I was hoping that I was going to have this video up already because the video where I use this, I have a sponsorship in it and I'm just waiting for the brand to actually approve the video to go up. So there is a look coming with this particular palette, but this is gorgeous. I've actually used this a few times just like going to work and stuff. I've used like these greens together and then also the pink. I used the pink in the video. This is the best quality What's Up Beauty has ever released. Like I've tried all of their palettes from my knowledge and I haven't always super loved them, but this is gorgeous. Like these metallics are so shifty and stunning on the eye, but they're not like, they're kind of like everyday wearable multi-chromes, if you will. Like they don't have a lot of fallout and they're just like really, I don't know, they're more of a subtle formula even though they don't look it in the pan, but like in the best way possible. Like I wear this palette to work all the time, truly. Like when I go into the office, I really like it. It's absolutely beautiful. So number 40 is the Viseart Koi palette, Petite Shimmers Koi palette. I just think this is absolutely adorable. So again, have a review of this on my channel. I think this is an amazing little petite palette if you are someone that just wants something small with color in your collection, but still really soft wearable color, because these colors to me are more of like a muted color, so they won't look as like out there as say some colorful eyeshadows. And the Viseart metallic formula is like just a little bit softer of a metallic formula. It's not as like molten metallic as say like your Natasha Denona formulas, that kind of a thing. So I find this is just like a really good wearable colorful palette. 39, another Pat McGrath Labs quad, and this is the Passion Fleur quad, I think it's called. Yeah. Also, I forgot to say caveat at the start, I'm so sorry. My palettes are really dirty and I'm not sitting here and cleaning 70 palettes, okay? It's not happening. So I'm sorry. But this is the Passion Fleur quad, and I don't super duper love this matte, but these three right here, even though these colors are quite repetitive in the Pat McGrath Labs collection, these tones are actually quite different to what she has in the rest of her collection, and they're stunning. Like, they're really, really pretty on the eyes. They look at, like this one, these three actually look gorgeous. In fact, if I could have my way, I would get rid of this matte completely and put another metallic color in there. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, I really like the quality. They're not like special shades or anything like that, but I still really like the quality of these metallics, and I love the tones on the eyes. They're just slightly different types of pinks and bronzes. .38 is my absolutely beloved Velvet Liaison from Pat from the Love collection. I love this, but if I'm honest, I really just love it for this one shade because it's like the closest matte I've found to the taupe shade in Subliminal. Still not quite a perfect match, but yeah, but this matte formula is the best in my opinion from Pat's collection. I just absolutely love it, and I love having this 6-pan all matte palette where I can just grab it and I use it in conjunction with like my entire Pat McGrath Labs collection, and I've got like tones in here to suit whatever look I'm going for with whatever palette I'm using it in conjunction with. So yeah, quality's top notch. I love it. Like, I love the color story. It's just an all matte palette, so that's why it's ranking a little bit lower, but I love it. I regret nothing, and I would repurchase it if I like lost it or something. .36 is this little Fluorescence eyeshadow quad, and I love it. I think this is such an awesome quality. Way more impressive than I ever anticipated, and like, it's absolutely beautiful. And they actually just sent me a new palette in PR that I think I like even more than this one. I used it yesterday and I was like, oh wow. So I'll have a video coming up reviewing it and stuff. I don't know, I say this a million times and you guys will always say the same thing. Like, the quality of Fluorescence makeup is actually such high quality. It is so, so good. And I just never expected it to be because it's such beautiful makeup to look at that I just naturally was like, no, surely the formula isn't as good. But it really, really is high quality makeup. I love it. And I love the tones in here. Like, it's a great little palette. .35 is another Odin's Eye palette. This is the Sea Talk palette from Lauren May Beauty. I bought this with my own money as well, and I love this palette. I really love this palette. This is actually what started my like intense love affair with Odin's Eye. I just think Lauren nailed the color story of this palette, especially at the time that it came out. It was really unique. Like, you've got this kind of cool tone option, a warm tone option, and then these pops of colors, and like these denim shades. These were really unique at the time that this came out. Like, I've noticed a lot more palettes have them in them now, but Lauren was kind of like the first one that really brought out these like denim shades, and they're absolutely stunning, and like the formula is impeccable. I love it. I love this palette. I think Lauren nailed it. Did not get enough hype, this palette, in my personal opinion. Number 34 is our first little Clé de Peau quad. This is in Seagrass. I love the Clé de Peau formula. I love it. Love it. Cannot rave about it enough. The only reason why this is ranking a little bit lower is just this color story is like not one that I would reach for on the everyday. It's like a certain moment, like that kind of soft grungy look I might be going for, then I'd reach for this. But in terms of formula, this is A++++. I cannot get enough of it, and I'd really, like, I'll pick up more color stories of this formula for sure. Like, I absolutely cannot get enough of the Clé de Peau formula. It's definitely not as like wham bam or anything like that. Like, it's more of a softer, like, this is more like a cream to powder formula, and these are more like a softer cream satin type formula, and this is like technically an eye primer, and it actually works really quite well as an eye primer. Really good for mature lids, but just absolutely stunning, especially if you're someone that just wants like a quick eyeshadow to like put on, one and done's. So good. .33 is the little Natasha Denona mini pastel palette. I liked this so much more than I ever thought I would, honestly, and I think if this shade right here was actually more of like a neutral shade, I probably would rate this even higher. And honestly, I can just use the neutral shade, right? I don't need this, but I love this shade. It's so pretty. And then these, like, this is more like a silver with just a soft hint of blue. The pink stunning and this blue stunning. Really, really like this. The quality's awesome. Like, it's a really good little mini palette, especially if you just want, like, again, a little snippet of color in your collection. It's perfect. $32 is my first ever Chanel quad, and this is the 318, I think. Yeah, Paru Venetienne quad. It's like a special edition one, and I love this shade right here. It's like this kind of shifty white greeny shade. Absolutely stunning. And I love the formula of these. They're kind of like baked shadows, great one and dones. The only reason why I actually rank so low is because these aren't my ideal like one and done shades. Like if one of these was more of like a neutral taupey shade, it would go so much further up the ranks. But however, this was the first Chanel quad I ever tried, and it's definitely intrigued me a lot to their formula. So I'm excited to like try more Chanel quads in the future and like really deep dive in the brand. Number 31 is, I think this is our first Glaminatrix palette. So this is the Glaminatrix Sugar and Spice palette, one of their newer ones. I got this in PR as well, and I think I have a 5 looks one palette actually using this. I love this palette. I do. I think this is amazing. The only reason why this actually is ranking as low as it is I don't actually like this matte formula as much. This is not their traditional matte formula. It's more like a pressed pigment formula. And so because of that, I just don't love it as much as their other matte formulas. But these shades, oh, they're just insane. They're out of this world. Glaminatrix for me was one of the most standout brands this year because the quality and just like the color stories and everything that they were coming out with, just exceptional. Their packaging is amazing. I absolutely love it. We are more than halfway now, I'm pretty sure. Okay, number 30 is another Odin's Eye palette. This is the Merry Christmas palette. I did get this in PR as well. It's just gorgeous, and especially for this season, it's perfect. I love it. I love all of the tones in here. Absolutely beautiful. I love these shades here and these two and this. I really like this palette. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I love the Odin's Eye formula. I do. I know that it's really like hit and miss out there, and I know a lot of us get PR from Odin's Eye, so a lot of people think that, like, I think maybe we're not being honest about what we like, if we like them or not. Truly, I love them. Like, I purchased my first 4 Odin's Eye palettes with my own money before I started getting PR, and I would have just kept purchasing palettes from then on from the brand because I really love the quality and like just the specialness of their metallic shades. They're stunning. Another Pat McGrath Labs quad. This is the Ritualistic Rose quad, and this is the original baked formula as well, and I absolutely love this. I really do. I think this is stunning. I love every single shade in here. Absolutely gorgeous. It's her OG formula that you know and love from those special shades. This is what she needs to continue bringing out. Get rid of that new formula that she decided to do this year. I think I just liked other palettes more this year, but in terms of like formula, I truly love it. I really do. 28 is my first Rabanne quad, the brand that gets slept on. This one is Paradise Lost and Found. Oh my goodness, I love it. I love the Rabanne formula. This is like a cream to powder matte, like a suede almost, absolutely divine. This is like more kind of like almost like a more subdued special shades from like Pat McGrath Labs, if you will. Like, they are truly spectacular, and it's just a color story that again I wouldn't reach for like every single day, so it's just going down a little bit in the ranking. But in saying that, like, I regret nothing. I absolutely love and adore the formula, and I can't wait to see what other color stories and stuff they bring out in their brand. 27 is the Natasha Denona Circo Loco palette, and I had been umming and ahhing about whether to get this palette or not for a really long time because it is one of her bigger palettes, so it was quite expensive, although I picked it up on a really good sale. I think I actually got this 50% off, and it's very colorful, but I love this. As a palette altogether, it's not something I would, like, I reach for a hell of a lot, but where I actually find I get my most use out of this palette is when I create my own palette color stories. So like, because these shadows can like come out, they're magnetic, and when I create my own palettes, I always have at least 1 or 2 Circo Loco shades I find in most of the palettes that I create, because individually these like metallic shades especially are just absolutely beautiful and actually a lot more wearable than you realize when you kind of like strip them out. So yeah, I really like this. I don't regret picking it up whatsoever. I truly love it. I would repurchase it if I lost it. I really like it. Number 25 is the Odin's Eye Christmas Eve palette. Again, I got this in PR. I mean, it's just a me color story. It's very, very cool tone. I really love like this one and this one and this one and this one. And the metallics, I love every single metallic, because even though this looks like a bluey purple metallic, it's actually really shifty. And I do love this blue because it's like a midnight blue. So if I'm gonna wear blues, I'll be honest with you, it'll be these tones. I really like this. I use this quite a bit actually. And the color story just really brings me a lot of joy. I gotta be honest, and like this shade right here, it's so pretty. It's just such a pretty palette. I really, really love it, and that quality I know and love from Odin's Eye. '24 is one of Viseart's new holiday palettes. This is the, I don't know if this was a holiday palette, but it just recently came out. This is the Violette Vespertine, so it's kind of like a sister to the Violette Attendu. And it's a little bit more like smoky, if you will, than that one. Absolutely beautiful. I wasn't going to pick this up. This was like a color story that I was like absolutely gorgeous, but it's not something I need to pick it up. And you guys kept asking if I was going to get it for a review. And the look that I did in my review of this video is one of my favorite looks from this year. Like, I personally felt like it was stunning. I really do. And this is like one of those palettes that, again, it might not like instantly when you look at it go, oh wow, but it's one of those formulas that when you use it, it's mesmerizing, because it's such a beautiful formula. The way that the colors go together, the way that it looks on the lids and everything, it's absolutely magical, and really, really well suited again to like beginners at eyeshadow or like pros, mature lids, younger lids, doesn't matter. Phenomenal. '23 is a little Dior Quint in soft cashmere, and this is the original formula, not the new reformulated one. Really, really pretty. Again, I love the color story. Like, this kind of cool tone taupey color story is definitely my vibe. It's just so pretty. And the only reason why I probably don't rank this a little bit higher is I kind of wish just one more of these shades, like maybe this one or this one, was actually a matte as well and not a satin. It's a really good quint if you just like want one and done. 23. I think I'm up to 23. I honestly have no idea. I could be completely off the mark here. This is the Natasha Denona Mini Starlet palette. Another one that I actually wasn't going to pick up, because in the promo pics that Natasha Denona did of this little mini, it was so pink leaning, and like it just looked nothing interesting to me. I was like, I absolutely do not need this. But then when the actual pictures came out, it was way more like cool tone neutral leaning and looked way prettier. And like, I feel like that was a pretty general consensus amongst most of us. And I really like it. It's great to travel with. The looks that I've created is absolutely stunning. Perfect for like those days when I'm just like in a rush and just need to throw my eyeshadow on and it looks cohesive. That Natasha Denona formula you know and love, like, really, if you're interested in it, you can't go wrong. 22 is a palette that a lot of people hate, but I personally think the reason why they don't like it is because they're going into it with the wrong intentions, or like with the wrong kind of idea of how the formula works. And it is the House Labs Holiday Palette. So this is the volume 2 super neutral, so this like pinky one. I mean, I love the color story. It's absolutely beautiful, but it's these mattes right here. I've seen a lot of people complain about like the lack of pigment and stuff, but when you feel these mattes, they feel very much like the Clé de Peau matte formula, the Lisa Eldridge matte formula, even the Rabanne matte formula. Like, these are a high-end luxury matte formula in the sense where it is like a softer pigment, a more buildable pigment, really well suited to mature lids. And so when I felt these formulas, I instantly thought of of like the Clé de Peau, and I instantly knew the kind of formulation and like the way that this was going to perform on the eyes, and it met that expectation. I also just personally really love that formula. I don't mind if it's not overly pigmented. I really do love a soft wash of color. I'm actually finding myself getting more and more towards like a soft wash of color on the eyes than like full bold eyeshadow. I mean, I have a full glam on look today, but that's because I'm filming like New Year's Eve looks and stuff right now. But on the everyday lately, I really have been leaning towards more that luxury like Tom Ford Quad Clé de Peau formula, this one, than like my Pat McGrath labs and that. I know, who am I? I also love these two. These are like creamy molten metallics. This one is just a straight normal metallic formula, nothing too crazy special in my mind, but I do really love these two, and a great another palette that's really going to be well suited to mature lids. '21 is, I don't think you can get this palette anymore, and it's really a shame. This is the Adept Cosmetics Arrow inspired palette. This is a high quality eyeshadow palette formula. So this is the color story right here. Ranking a little bit lower just because it's so colorful, but like the way that these shadows look on the eyes, like these ones especially, is not what they look like in the pan in the best way possible. Like they just shift. I feel like you can tell how good a quality this palette is just from looking at it. Like look how wet and molten and shiny and stunning these shadows look just in the pans, right? And then they perform 10 times better even on the eyes. Like incredible. And the mattes are stunning. Like this palette is awesome. It's a shame. I think I know why it's special edition, but this should be a permanent palette in my mind. I think it's such high quality. Like it's really amazing. And if you love a green, oh, I love it. I love it. It's also another palette that, because these pans can like come out, they're like magnetic. So a lot of the times I will pull like individual, I can't hold this now. I've just lost all sense of myself. I will pull a lot of these like shadows out and use them in like my own palettes and stuff. I love it. Pretty sure I undercounted by 1. So I'm going to do number 20 as a pair. And it is 2 Oden's Eye palettes, and I purchased this one with my own money and got this one in PR. So first up, let's do Stone and Rock. I mean, it's just a green lover's dream, really. Look at that, absolutely gorgeous. Ranking a little bit lower just because it's got some warm tones in there, but honestly, I love this palette. I cannot fault the quality of it. I love the color story of it. Looking at it just like makes me super happy. Look at this shade right here, look at it. Oh. Anyway, so there's that one, which I love. Oden's Eye quality, you know I love. And then also this Snow Dream palette. And I saw a lot of people say that they hated this palette. I don't know what I'm doing differently. I vibed with it. I mean, granted, like, no, I don't get it. I know they were saying, like, I think some people were saying the mattes weren't that good, but like, I found them to be really good. And the metallics, like this is like a holographic silver. So this is the Snow Dream palette, sorry. And then like, look at this one and this one and this one. I don't know. I really liked this. I really like the color story of it. Sorry. I really like the whole thing. I love the metallics. I thought the quality was really good, but I know a lot of people didn't. So I don't know what I was vibing differently with, but I really liked it. '19. Tom Ford Quad. This is the Forbidden Pink one. Look at this packaging. Like I always say, this packaging right here, these colors, if I had a makeup brand, these are the colors. Like I love them. And then this is the color story. It's the cream formula, and I absolutely love the cream formula. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. It's the cream formula you know and love. I cannot say a bad word about this. Like if you love the cream formula and you love this color story, you will absolutely love it. This is such a good one and done. So actually each of these are good one and dones. And this as well, like absolutely beautiful. It's expensive, but I love it. I regret nothing. '18 is the Urban Decay Moon Dust Quad. Look at these. Oh, I love these. I mean, the Urban Decay Moon Dust shadows have been having a moment on the TikToks, and rightly so. I mean, Space Cowboy especially. I never got the hype. Like I'd never tried Space Cowboy, and even like just swatching Space Cowboy, the hype is, you're just like, okay, but then you put it on the lids, you put any of these shadows on the lids and you get it. they're awesome, and they're really good if you're someone that wants like a shifty sparkly shadow, but you want like, I find these pretty much have no fallout whatsoever, but also because they've got a bit of an iridescent base to them, or like a clear base to them. They're really nice if you're someone that wants that like shifty sparkly shadow on the everyday, but you don't want it to be like a full wham bam kind of shadow. You want it to be a little bit softer. Get yourself these. 17. This is another Glaminatrix palette. I purchased this one with my own money. This is their holiday one, the Fairy Lights one. Very pretty. It really is. It's so pretty, very sparkly. So the only reason why this ranks a little bit lower is because I actually like their Glimmering Creatures bundles a little bit more, just personally. These are probably a little bit just extra sparkly for me. In saying that though, I love this. You'll pry it from my cold dead hands. I think it's so stunning. Like, look at this green. Oh, and like this is like a holographic one as well. Look at them. Ugh, they're amazing. 16, I think this is 16. The Prada quad. Prada came out with makeup this year, and I have been utterly impressed. Like, absolutely impressed. So this is the one that I got, and I love this. So this is like a cream to powder formula. This metallic is so much more like of a molten metallic than I was ever expecting. And then this one and this one, which is just a brown, are like straight matte formulas, and they're really high quality as well. I personally would recommend Prada to stick to their cream to powder formula here in the middle. That is something special. Absolutely something special, and I'll be keeping an eye out on their color stories. I actually use this a lot more than I thought I was ever going to, especially this one here is like a one and done, and I love the packaging. And yeah, Prada's a highly rated brand in my collection. 15 is another Viseart palette. This is the other one that they released with the Vespertine. So this is Cashmere Charmeuse, which is like the sister to the Cashmere palette, which is the palette I wore on my wedding day. And I love this. Absolutely beautiful. Gorgeous. This one here doesn't look like it on camera, but it's actually a duochrome or like a multi-chrome. It's really, really pretty. I just love it. It's like this smoky cool tone color story. I love this shade. This is the kind of gold that I'll wear. This one, I love everything about this palette. Every single thing about this palette. Honestly, I really can't stress now, every single palette that I'm talking about, I'm just going to keep saying they're phenomenal, they're amazing, I love them. They bring me so much joy because these are all really, really high quality palettes now. I'm really just putting them in order of like color story preference, truly. Okay, 14. The Natasha Denona Gold palette. I wanted this palette for a really long time, really long time, and finally got it when she brought it back in stock. So pretty. I love this one, this shadow and this shadow. They're my two faves. I love this. It's really pretty, great formula. You know, that Natasha Denona formula you know and love. I don't even know why it ranks so low. I think it's just probably not my color story in this specific moment in time, but like I could see this palette ranking higher at different times, depending on my mood, if that kind of makes sense. But still, it's absolutely high quality. I regret nothing. 13 is my first Blend Bunny Cosmetics palette. This is the All Done Up palette, and you guys kept telling me how much I needed to try this brand, and I get it now, okay? I get the reason why. This is awesome. So this is the palette right here. And I love this. I love the color story because these mattes are this color tones of mattes are very much my vibe. I love this like pukey color, mustard, this green, and they blend. Like the blend on these is kind of mind-blowing. And then you have these metallics, which this is like a special greeny shift right here, and I love it. And then you've got the silver, and the metallics are molten and intense and gorgeous, and I love everything about it. 12 is, I think this is our last Pat McGrath Labs palette in the entire rankings. This is probably the first year since 2020 that a Pat McGrath Labs palette hasn't been in the top 10. There you go. But this is Bronze Ecstasy. I mean, it's gorgeous. So many of you guys I've seen love this as well. These two matte formulas here, they're like a satin suede matte as well, and I need her to bring out just a whole palette of these matte formulas in different shades. Oh, that would be fire. But I just love these. Like, this is like this creamy foiled metallic formula. Same with this. I love the tones. I really like this quint. This is definitely my favorite quint from her. I love it. I love it. But those mattes are something extra special. Number 11, I think this is my last Odin's Eye palette. I purchased this one with my own money as well. This is the Jules and Gem, and like I love this. I love staring at it. I love everything about this palette. It's just stunning. Like, especially this shade, and this one especially. But I also like this kind of cool tony blue here, and then like this one, and I just love everything about this palette. I absolutely love it. I love all the looks that I do with it. I use it quite a bit off camera. I mean, I say off camera, but that's because, like, you know, usually I'm using like new makeup nearly every video, but I use this quite a bit like for work and stuff. And now my top 10. I wonder if you can guess which palettes are in my top 10 and what is my number 1. Okay, let's do this. Number 10, the Danessa Myricks Lightwork Volume 5 I Am palette. And to be fair, this would probably rank a lot higher, but I just cannot get the fallout manageable with this palette. And when I say that, I need to stress, once the shadows are on the lids, I don't get any fallout. So wear time, like with the fallout, no problem. But this, I cannot control. Like, as I put the shadows on, I have tried every way, you guys, with my fingers, wetting my brush, with intensifiers. The only thing I actually haven't tried yet that I really do need to is I need to get like a, instead of using my intensify stick, like an actual tackier glitter glue. That's the only thing I have left. But aside from that, these colors are amazing. And even like, these look like they're one color in the pan, but then you put them on the lids and they're a completely different shift. These are something special. This whole palette is something special. It really, really is. And it's worth pushing through the like application of fallout. It really, really is. And that could just be a me thing, truly. But yeah, I love this. I love this. This is my first Danessa Myricks palette, and wow, it's phenomenal. She really outdid herself. It is phenomenal. Number 9 is my absolutely beloved Byredo Remembrance palette, which I have Alicia Archer to blame because I was not going to pick this up. It just looks like one of those boring palettes. You know, she got it, she did it in a review, absolutely raved about it, and I was like, well, obviously I need it now. And she's right, because again, it's like these soft suede mattes, like that luxury eyeshadow formula of a matte that I personally love. And then you kind of have a couple of these like really molten metallic shadows, followed by some softer satin metallics. It's really a stunning palette. A little bit warm tone leaning, so I probably don't use it as much, but now that I have a feeling the tides are turning and we are heading back into a very warm tone like trend, given that the Pantone color of the year is that soft peach color, so we're probably really getting back into the warm tones now. Just the quality of this, like, oh, I hope that, I can't wait to see what kind of like bigger palette they release next year, and I hope it's like that same formula, if not better, because yeah, mind blowing. And I know so many of you guys picked it up and were like, oh wow, it's so good. Number 8 is my other Clé de Peau quad. I cannot remember the name of this one for the life of me. I really love this. Again, like just as one and dones. This kind of color story for me is like one and dones. I recently went to Bali and I took this with me and I wore it like every single day. I really love the Clé de Peau formula. I really do. Like I said, I want to pick up a couple more color stories. I just think it's so easy to use. It's not like highly pigmented or anything like that. It's like perfect for someone that just wants to be able to like quickly put some eyeshadow on, know it's gonna look good. Great for mature lids. I still find it to be really long wearing. I don't find it to like crease or anything. I don't know, I really love it. And like the packaging is so chic. I love it. Seven is my absolutely beloved YSL Store It Alls quad. This was the year of quads for me, okay? Previous years, I really was like, I hate quads. You can quote me on that. I really used to be like, I hate quads. This year, for some reason, I fell in love with quads. And I'm going to assume it's because I'm getting a little bit older. You know, I'm about to turn 34. It is what it is. I will say, I really think that the luxury brands in particular upped their eyeshadow formula game this year. Like they did something special with their formulas this year, and YSL is no exception to that rule. So this is Store It Alls. I mean, like a me color story dream. I took this with me to Bali as well. This was like my nighttime eyeshadow, and that was like my daytime eyeshadow. And this shadow right here, you can like tap this on to be quite subtle, but you can like, you know, if you use the Pat McGrath Labs Intensify stick or wet your brush or whatever and use this, it can get sparkly, like proper sparkly. It's absolutely gorgeous. Great for mature lids, great for beginners, all that kind of stuff. Okay, number 6, Rabanne. I know, you guys, Rabanne is being slept on. So this is another Rabanne quad. This is called Feel My Vibe. And I just recently got this, but when I tell you I can't stop using this, wow, I cannot stop using this. Again, like this is a cream to powder like suede formula, and let me tell you, when you swatch these, and even I guess when you kind of put these on the eyes, like I will tell you, they don't look like anything special. They really don't, but they are stunning. Like the look that they create, because this looks really blue in the pan, but on the eyes, it does not come out this blue, but it comes out, oh, I don't even know how. I've got 2 videos where I'm wearing this particular quad. One is the review of this, which you'll see the picture of this in the thumbnail, and the other one is my favorite. It's either my favorite lip products or my favorite foundation. I'll put a comment on the screen right now telling you guys. And so many of you guys asked me like, what are you wearing as eyeshadow? And it was this, and it was just like this shade with this all over the lid and then that to deepen it. I can't stop using this. I really can't. It looks so chic and stunning on my eyes. I love it. Top 5. And I'll be honest, the top 5 can pretty much just all be top number 1. They really can. These are like, these 5 eyeshadows palettes are like mind-blowing to me. They truly are. So number 5 is, and I say this loosely because again, these can all just be number 1. Can't stress that enough. But number 5, the Glaminatrix Rich Romantic palette. They couldn't have nailed a color story more for the name of this palette. So this is the Rich Romantic one. I think I have a 3 looks 1 palette with this as well in a review. Oh, look at it. Absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. But the thing that I love the most about this is it has these like duochrome, multi-chrome sparkly shadows, but they're again a little bit more pared down. So 1, if you have mature lids, I think they'll look really good, but 2, they're really wearable. So they have that like multi-chrome stunning shift, but for like the everyday. But then you can also like vamp them up if you want to for like the night, but they're just gorgeous. They're so wearable, they're so stunning. They each have this like really unique shift. I love them. Like I've even hit pan on this one. And this is the Glaminatrix matte formula that you know and love. Like every single one of these mattes is chef's kiss. This whole palette is chef's kiss. Again, do not sleep on Glaminatrix. For me, they are like one of the top brands of the year. Number 4 is my absolutely beloved, if I can get it open, hang on, is a Maya Industrial 2.0 palette. Oh, I love this. This is a whole palette of Pat McGrath Labs special shades apart from this one, because that's like a satin, actually this is like a suede cream to powder matte. The rest of these Pat McGrath Labs special shades, truly. Oh, it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Every single color in here is like this. Wow. Wow, I'm pretty sure I have 5 looks. It's either 3 or 5 looks using this as well, and a review. I love it so much. And don't you worry, there are going to be some more looks using this palette coming up on my channel. When I got this, it just seemed to explode with like eyeshadow palette season, and I didn't have a chance to like really film with it again. January will be a slower month. We will be bringing this out. Don't you worry your pretty little faces. Oh, it makes me so angry looking at it because it's that beautiful and the quality is that insane. Like, this palette is amazing, and I know so many of you guys got this palette based off my recommendation and was like, yeah, it's incredible. In fact, I think some of you guys are even getting this for Christmas maybe, so let me, if you are one of those people, let me know how you like it. Number 3 is the Natasha Denona Yucca palette. I love this palette so much. I actually almost debated switching this one and number 2 because there's something about this color story. I love it. You know what I really appreciate about Natasha Denona is every palette she releases is something different from the previous one and from her collection. Like, yes, I know she might have the mini and like the midi family or something like that, but they're still different to each other. Like, she really doesn't have a lot of repetitive shades. You might say she has like color shade families, but they're still very different from each other. And they're never ever like, it's, let's just call a spade a spade, it's not a sea of pink shades is what I'm trying to get at here. And like, look at this color story. And I think this is a real testament, like Natasha Denona to me is a testament that like, okay, yeah, you might have a color story that sells, but also you can produce a really unique color story like this one and it's going to blow people out of the water, because I know this palette was highly, highly popular. Like, it's incredible, incredible. The formula is a whole other level for Natasha Denona. Like, this was the palette that she released the wet foiled metallics, and oh my, they're stunning. Number 2 is obviously my Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. I mean, look, teens in a palette, truly. And I fully recognize that this doesn't like cross a lot of skin tones, but selfishly for me, this is a perfect palette for me and my little lily white skin. Oh, I love this. And again, an incredible formula. She has the wet sparkling metallic, and then I think it's the wet foiled metallic. I don't know. There's another formula that's new in here again. I love it. I love it so much. The tones in here are stunning. The formulas in here are stunning. Perfect everyday palette. Like, I could really just have this palette in my collection, really, and that's all I'd need. I just love it. I just love it so, so much. I think it's truly impeccable. I think Natasha Denona blew it out of the water this year with these 2 mini palettes. I really do. I can't wait to see what she brings to the table next year. Stunning. Number 1, probably one of the most boring palettes I could probably ever pick as number 1. But for me, it has to be number 1 because I have used this palette every single time I have done my makeup since I've got this palette. No word of a lie. In one way, shape or form, in some step or another, I have used this palette every single time I have done my makeup since I got it. And so for me, this palette has paid for itself tenfold, because let's be real, I have just ranked 70 palettes. As my husband so just kindly pointed out to me, that's more than a palette a week. Okay, I'm aware. So the fact that I have used this palette every single time I've done my makeup since I've gotten it, it has to be number 1. Yeah, it's the Natasha Denona Groundworks Neutral palette. Like, look at how beaten up this is. Look at it. I really do use this palette so often. And I use it for my brows quite often than not. This shade is Hip Pan because I use this to like tidy up underneath my brows and like, you know, maybe blend out some eyeshadow or whatever around here. I use it for my brows. I use it for sometimes if I want like a little bit of extra contour. I use it quite often. I'll use this as like my mattes for a lot of palettes, and then I'll grab like my glimmering creatures or my single shadows or something. One reason or another, I will use this every time I do my makeup for some reason. And I just think I have well and truly got my money's worth from this palette. And I know, like, I just saw Blair's palette declutter as well, and I know she talks about the smell. I truly don't have a smell. I really don't. I don't know if that's just me and I can't smell for things, but I don't have a smell. I absolutely love it. It has nothing special in terms of metallics, but the formula of these pomades, like these cream pomades, I don't know. They vibe with me. They've got me hook, line, and sinker. I absolutely love them, and I cannot rave enough about this. All right, you guys, we did it. We ranked 70, but I think it was actually 71 palettes. Yep. And I'm fairly certain I've probably forgot some palettes that I've tried along the way. If I have, don't tell me. I don't want to know. Let's just pretend I've got them all. Yeah, like I said, guys, honestly, this is all just my opinion, right? Like, the ones that I really didn't like were probably the 70, like the first lot of 10 that I ranked for one reason or another. Some of them wasn't even quality-wise. It was just, well, I think probably only the Odin's Eye one was the quality-wise. I think the rest of them probably not so great quality. But, you know, the rest of them down, they're all really good quality in my mind. You know, take it with a grain of salt, and hopefully you just had a little bit of fun hanging out with me ranking my palettes. Okay, I'm gonna leave now because I'm pretty certain this is a massively long video, even though I tried to like speed talk my way through so much of it. Let me know, what was your number one palette for the year? Like, what did you love the most all year? And was my ranking kind of how you expected it to go? Let me know in the comments. I'd be very, very interested. If you are here till this point, wow. Wow, wow, wow. You are an absolute legend. You're the MVP because this would have been huge. I appreciate it truly, especially if you've stayed till this point. Not a lot of people do, so I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. And I just hope that you have the most amazing day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. Bye.